Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Dad and Sis Show. Last time we saw us doing some puzzles and having all kinds of problems making the pieces go together. As I said, someone gave me a puzzle for the first time and I said it's broke. And they said, I know, you're supposed to put it together. And I said, well, I didn't break it. So Sis, tell them a little bit about what we're doing in today's show.
So in episode 2 of the Dad and Sis Show, we are going to be talking about our favorite books because we are very big readers and we love to read. So we're going to show you and talk about
Nerds.
our favorite books.
Now, first of all, before we get into the books that we have that are our favorites, we gotta give some props to the main book from the main man upstairs. The Bible is the best book of all time. We're not talking about that one today. We're talking about more of the books we enjoy to read, but we gotta give props to the man upstairs. You know what my favorite Bible verse is?
What is your favorite Bible verse?
Genesis 1:1, in the beginning. All right, Sis, why don't you kick us off with one of your selections? You're going to notice a trend by it. You're going to be able to figure out who our favorite author is by the end.
Okay, so the first book I'm going to talk to you about is Finders Keepers by Stephen King. And it is a novel. And this is one of my favorite books of all time because the storyline is pretty interesting. It's about a man who kills an author to find one of his favorite authors to find out he was writing another book in the series. And he finds the book and he buries it underground so he can read it later.
And he wants to be the only one. No one else has read this book. And we should also add, I'm a big fan of Finders Keepers too. It's the second book in a trilogy. Mr. Mercedes was the first one. Finders Keepers is the second one. And then I'm drawing a blank on what the third one sucks. I'm drawing a blank on what it is. That's why I can never remember what it was.
Yeah, if you like a good mystery and action, this book is very good. I very much recommend this one.
All right, I'm also sticking with the Stephen King motif and 11/22/63. This is probably my favorite book that he's written. I love the Dark Tower series. I love, some of the older ones like Carrie and Cujo. Some of the not so famous books that he's read or has written. Sorry, but 11/22/63. On the basis, it's a book about a guy who has an opportunity to go back in time to honor his dying friend and save John F. Kennedy and stop him from getting assassinated. But at the heart of the book, it's a love story about Jake and Sadie in a beautiful little town called Jody, Texas. And that is really an underlying theme of the book. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I've read this book probably 5 or 6 times. There's many, many things that go on in it as far as subplots and different things. But at the basis, it's a love story. And Sis, it breaks my heart. Yeah. If I was Jake, I would have stayed with Sadie. Because you only find love like that one time if you're lucky. I would have let history unfolded, and I would have grown old with her just like they talked about. My dear 11/22/63.
I did read that book last year, and it was probably one of the best books I've ever read. It is so well written and had such a unique storyline. It is a very good book.
All right, so this looks like you have another one.
Yes. This is my favorite book of all time. It's also by Stephen King.
Can you tell who our favorite author is?
But this was actually written as Richard Bachman, his pen name. But this is called Blaze, and
if I can just jump in real quick, he wrote this was early in his career, and he wrote these books under the Richard Bachman name because he wanted books that weren't Stephen King books that he wanted to write to see kind of people liked them and with the style he wanted to without people associating those books with him. But ultimately, he was found out, so they were republished as the Bachman books. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this book is about. I'm not sure how to describe it. Would you like to?
You must have really liked it if it's one of your favorite books and you hold it up and you're not able to describe it.
It's a very interesting story.
It's about a guy, another guy. Basically, it's about this character named Blaze, who was a very smart baby, but then by a series of unfortunate events, became a little damaged in the head through no fault of his own. And it's about he's really the anti-hero. He's a bad guy, but he's a good guy. And in the end, he doesn't do good things, but he does the bad things for the right reasons, if that makes sense. Kind of been the story of my life so far. And by the end, you really end up you end up cheering for him, and you end up in his corner. This isn't one of his more famous books, so let's not give the ending away as far as what happens. Yeah. But let's just say it'll give a little pitter-patter to your heart.
Yes.
A little tear to your eye.
It made me cry.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm secure enough in my manhood to say Blaze made me cry. I want to give a couple honorable mentions. Oh, you have another one?
Okay, we both. Real quick while this is out. This is a collection of short stories, but
really more novellas, longer, somewhere like longer than, not to correct you in everything you say, but longer than a short story, shorter than a novel.
Okay, well this specific story in the book is only about, like, I don't know, 60 or so pages, which is pretty short for Stephen King. But
one of them is Shawshank Redemption, which is called Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption. You may be familiar with the movie starring Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman.
Yes, thank you. And so this specific story is 1408, and it is.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, it was so scary. I finished it in 2 days. Like, it was so good. It's pretty much about this man who he writes about his, like, an account of him staying in haunted places, and he goes to this hotel room at a hotel.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
And it's the room 1408, and it's just about his experience there, and it's really, really good.
Also a movie, which I'm doing this off the cuff. I think it's starring John Cusack, which I'm not saying that dude's name right, and Samuel L. Jackson. Well worth checking out. I want to give a couple honorable mentions. I don't have them immediately in front of me here. I'm a big, if you just like an easy read, like a good crime read, if you like police books, anything by Michael Connelly is very good. I think there's 20 Harry Bosch books, which are all just really, really good reads. Now he started a new series with kind of introducing some new characters, as Harry Bosch is now in his 60s, I think, in the last book. Also, Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, who you may know from writing Gone Girl, and what was that other one, that movie starring Ben Affleck? No, that was Gone Girl, and then Gone Baby Gone, which starred Casey Affleck. She wrote both of those, but Dark Places, well worth checking out. You gotta get your head screwed on right to read it, because it will mess with your mind.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of the
Dad and Sis Show. Hey, we'll see you in the pages of your favorite books. Feel free to like us, subscribe, whatever the heck people do on YouTube. I don't really know. I'm old. And then let us know in the comments if you choose to some of your favorite books, because we'd be interested in checking those out as well. And look for a big announcement coming soon in either episode 3 or 4 involving a really, really big event I'm going to be involved with that I'm very proud. And that's really, really cool. I can't say anything about it just yet, but it's going to be just around the corner. So look for that big announcement coming soon. Until then, see you next time.